Hey gorgeous, welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. I hope you're all doing well. So today we're building with the new pack Sims 4 Growing Together, and I thought what a great opportunity to finally start building a 100 baby challenge house. I have not done the 100 baby challenge once before because I don't know, it didn't really appeal to me, but I thought it would be fun to do it since the infant update came out. I'm not sure why. I think I like to torture myself because it has been so difficult. But yeah, and I really learned how important it is to have a good 100 baby challenge house that really sort of helps you to take care of the children much easier. So the way that I like to build my 100 baby challenge houses is to make use of the sort of tiny house hack, which basically this house classes as a tier 2 tiny home. However, obviously, as you can see, it's much larger than a tier 2 tiny home normally would be. And that is because I sort of cheated the system by creating fake rooms or just placing walls together in a way that it doesn't really create a room, and therefore the house doesn't really count any tiles. So obviously there are a couple of tiles in this house. I believe the bedroom, like the primary bedroom, that room makes use of the tile count. And also that little dormer on top, I also use the tile count because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to build a second story at all. But yeah, so that's what I did, which I guess it is a little bit cheaty. I guess so, but I don't know. I don't care. I just not really, I just don't find it very enjoyable to take a very long time for my Sims to build skills. I like that to go nice and easy. Because if you don't know, if you don't have the tiny living pack, if you live in a tiny home, that lot type comes with all sorts of different perks. And one of the main perks for me, or the most useful perks for me, is that your Sims, they gain skills, I believe, twice as fast. Which is super useful, of course, especially in a challenge like this. But then again, I'm not sure. I don't think there's any rule, like any official rule that says you can't do this. But maybe it should be, because obviously it's a bit cheaty. But anyway, I just like to play. I like to play this for myself in a way that I find enjoyable. And I don't know. I like to make this experience as easy as possible, because as you know, the baby challenge can be quite stressful, especially with toddlers. Toddlers were notoriously hard to take care of, but now with the infant update, it is even worse. Oh my god, it's so bad. And as with any big Sims update, I guess there's always going to be glitches, especially in the beginning. And I feel that the autonomy in this game is completely rigged. It's all over the place. My Sims keep canceling interactions that I pick out for them, and then they kind of choose their own interactions, which aren't, the most efficient ones. So when one of the babies is crying, for example, my mama Sim, she wants to take care of them, but she never really does it in a very efficient way. And sometimes like she's like nearly starving or nearly about to collapse or pee her pants, and she will still prioritize her kids, even though the kid had just started crying, and there's not really anything wrong with him. It's just, I'm like, just first go take care of yourself, go to the bathroom and stuff like that, and then go take care of the baby. But yeah, it was really annoying because every action that I queue up for her, she just kept on canceling. And at some point, and I've seen some videos of other YouTubers and Simmers experiencing this glitch as well, where the parent Sim queues up a bunch of different actions that you can't really cancel. Every time you try canceling, she just keeps on adding that same action again and again, and it's really, really frustrating. So yeah, I really hope that they will fix that soon, because it makes taking care of these babies so hard. At one point I had to buy a sleep replacement, the one that you can get from the lifetime reward system, and because my sim, she was nearly about to collapse, and all the kids needed attention. They needed to be fed, they needed a bath, they needed a diaper change and whatever. And she was not able to take care of them because she was so tired. So I was like, okay, this is the time I'm going to buy the sleep replacement, have her drink that quickly, and then she can take care of the kids. And as many, I tried to queue up the interaction for her to drink the sleep replacement, and she just wouldn't. And eventually she collapsed. That was so frustrating. But oh well. So yeah, about this house then. Obviously I built this house using the new pack Grown Together. And I have to say, I really do like the stuff that came in this pack. I really enjoy this sort of vintage furniture. And I've heard some simmers critiquing this pack actually for the build and buy, because they feel like the build and buy catalog is not that strong this time around. And I guess obviously that opinion is completely valid, but I think for me, I really do like it. I can see myself using some of this stuff in a lot of my builds. Like that archway, that larger archway that I just placed in this house as well. I think it's so beautiful, and we don't really have anything like that in the game yet. So yeah. And I guess the critique that most people have on the build and buy stuff for this game is that it doesn't really make a lot of sense in terms of what is the general theme, because they feel like there's multiple themes. But I guess, like, for me, I feel like it does make sense. I guess this world is kind of based on San Francisco, which is kind of more of a vintagey a theme. And obviously San Francisco is known for the Victorian houses, like the painted ladies in San Francisco. It's very typical for that area. Although I have to say I'm a bit disappointed with the world. I would have loved to see more Victorian stuff, like Victorian townhouses, but I guess the world is it is definitely based on the area, but I guess it's more based on a sort of suburb area of San Francisco, not necessarily like the city center downtown area, which I guess is fine. But yeah, so for me, that vintagey stuff really does make sense to me. Also in the theme of, you know, this being a family pack, I guess a lot of those stuff is meant to look like maybe it's been passed down through multiple generations. And then we also have a lot of more modern stuff, which I guess is more meant for community lots, like a lot of colorful sort of kiddie tables and chairs and bookshelves and whatnot. And I think they look really nice. I think they make a lot of sense, especially for the community lots that came with this world. And yeah, I feel like even though maybe there's not a lot, maybe there's a bit less build and buy assets compared to other packs, I do think that the stuff that they did put in here, I personally really enjoy. So yeah, let me know, guys, what you think of this pack, if you have bought it, or if you plan on buying it, or if you don't plan on buying it, and what are your thoughts so far. I guess for me personally, in terms of gameplay, I've not really explored this pack a lot. The one thing, like my main critique though, is that I feel like a lot of these features should have been base game that they introduced in this pack, because they have been base game in previous Sims titles such as The Sims 2 and The Sims 3. And I feel that making an expansion pack based on the features that are basically lacking, it feels like a bit of a rip-off in my opinion. Such as the diaper changing table. I don't understand why that didn't come in, you know, in the base game update, and you have to buy this pack in order to get that item. I feel like it's a bit lame, and I feel like they shouldn't have done that, but, you know, who am I? I don't know. So yeah, now I'm just working on the bedroom for the mama sim. This is a very, very expensive bed. Just a little disclaimer, guys, I wanted to make this build for myself, for my own gameplay, for my own baby challenge that I'm playing off camera basically. So it's not super detailed because obviously my sim doesn't really have a lot of money yet. So I aimed for this house to cost around 60,000 simoleons. I think it comes in the end just a little more expensive, but like 61-ish. Yeah, that's why it's not as detailed as my usual builds, just because I feel like this house should really be useful for gameplay. And I did use a very, very expensive bed because I feel like it's very useful to have an expensive bed in the baby challenge, because your sim gets so tired, and having a bed that gets their energy need up very quickly it's a must in my opinion. Yeah, and just one more thing that I want to mention, because obviously I made this house a tiny house and a lot of the rooms aren't actually rooms. That does mean that you will run into a couple of issues. One of the issues is the lighting glitch on the floor. So the floor looks a little bit off in terms of the color and the lighting. And also, this house doesn't really have any ceilings, and you will see this in the screenshots later on, where I tried to make screenshots sort of more from above, because otherwise you would just see like the hole in the ceiling, because there is no ceiling basically. But don't worry guys, this house completely functions and works. The only thing is, maybe if you play in winter and it snows, like the side of the house, you might see a little bit of snow coming in. But you know, for me, I guess you win some, you lose some. Having those tiny house perks is just so useful for me that I was willing to kind of work with it / work around it. But I guess if you don't like it, maybe if you like this house but you don't like the sort of tiny house hack, of course you can just change it. You just need to close off the rooms in a normal way basically, and then they should form rooms automatically, and that should add up to the tile count, and then you won't run into those weird glitches that I've just mentioned. And I guess they're not really glitches because you're not really meant to do this. I basically cheated the system. But yeah, I guess that's it for me, guys. I think I'm just going to leave this voiceover right here. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know by leaving a like or a comment, or feel free to subscribe. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!